Right, now this week is National Science Week in South Africa, and it's aimed at increasing awareness in science. Held every year, it tries to reach out to students and the general public about the world of science. And this year's theme is facing the harsh realities of climate change. This week on the program, we'll be bringing you various voices from the science world. And today we're joined by the president of the Southern African Radiation Protection Association, Gaopalelwe Santswere, and the association's Secretary-General Timothy Sebeela. Thanks so much for joining us, gentlemen. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Peter.
All right, let me start with you, Mr. President.
Yes.
A lot of people are probably thinking, what on earth is radiation protection?
Well, we need to protect ourselves from radiation. You know, just staying outside, you know, I've got the radiation from the sun.
Right.
I mean, people who are lighter than me, they sort of experience that. You know, they get that radiation tan because of staying long on the sun. So you have to always protect yourself from radiation. So we have radiation that is normal occurring, radiation which is come from, mining. Mining on its own, you get that because when you mine your gold, you get uranium. Uranium has what we call daughters who are continuously emitting radiation.
Right.
So we've got radiation everywhere. If you go to Baal, those granite stones that are there, I mean, Baal in the whole of South Africa, I think they've got the highest background radiation than a nuclear power station or Nexa in its own. So we always have to look ourselves to make sure that we protect the public, the workers, and the environment from radiation protection.
All right.
So one of the issues that we also try to do is to ensure that the people understand what is radiation first, because they can also really protect themselves from that kind of radiation.
All right. So now, during this week, students around the country will be going to various exhibitions and places, and they've probably never heard of professions along the line of radio protection. Typically, what does a person working in radio protection do?
Yeah, on a day-to-day basis, what we have been doing lately, we've got what we call the synapse that has been doing a lot in terms of educating the youth, in terms of ionizing radiation uses, and also the protection. And then when you talk about the radiation protection officer, you are talking about somebody who goes into the radiation areas, who has all those detectors, who has what we call the TLDs, and surveys the areas to make sure that it is safe for workers to get into those areas to do their day-to-day job basis in those areas.
And I guess because of the nature of radiation, this is quite a specialized job and a critical one.
Very, very. I mean, we've got from radiation protection monitoring officer and a radiation protection specialist. So what we need to do is to understand that we need to understand the amount of radiation that a worker is exposed at a given particular operations, because they go there, they do the activities at different places. Sometimes we find that someone will spend an hour because we don't want them to be too exposed. So that has health effects. If someone is too much exposed to radiation, that can be detrimental to their health, and then they can kill them. I mean, we know that Chernobyl, people were exposed to a whole lot of radiation, which eventually some of them it was fatal. So that is a specialized industry on its own. So we need to ensure that these people, radiation protection officers or radiation protection specialists, are trained in that particular environment to ensure that that they do and understand. We don't want them to have the incorrect data to say that no, it's safe, only to find that it's not safe. And one of the things, there was a trend apparently in some of the hospitals, we will not name, that the oncologist or the workers there, they will leave their dosimeters, as Timothy says, and then tomorrow they come and claim that they were ever exposed. So when you do analysis, we find that no, it was only the TLDs. So radiation protection is quite a specialized field to ensure that nuclear safety is guaranteed. I mean, we have to guarantee that.
So what is our safety record in South Africa? Are we, in terms of accidents and spillages and exposures?
Yeah, in terms of South Africa, I will say in terms of radiation accidents, we've got 0 up to now. And in terms of spillages, those are small things that are taken care of by the radiation decon workers either in the plant or anywhere where those activities are taken. If you look at the stats, for example, at the Quebec Nuclear Power Station, before you even construct a nuclear power plant, there's a lot of studies that are done to check whether that plant will be safe, where it will be situated. you do your environmental impact assessments and safety assessments. And with South Africa, we are very lucky because when it comes to natural disasters, we are on the safe side compared to other countries. And up to now, we've got 0 incidents of radiation exposure.
Okay.
Actually, if you talk to experts, they will tell you that you are more to get accidents from any other things like car accidents,
exposure to radiation,
excessive drinking.
And that's across quite a wide field. But I guess this is why you formed this association, the Southern African Radiation Protection Association, bringing different people in this environment together. What does your association hope to do?
Well, the objective of the association is to enhance or develop the profession, because quite a lot of people don't understand that this profession is very critical. I mean, you cannot let a mine worker go underground without radiation monitoring. You cannot expose a patient to nuclear medicine without a radiation protection program being in place. So this profession is very critical in such a way that it is important for us to continuously develop this profession, to continuously engage with different stakeholders in such a way that we make sure that, you know, we share knowledge. Knowledge is very key. We can learn from each other. So in South Africa, because we've got a wider industry, you know, medical application, industrial application, agriculture, including mining and power station or research. So there's a lot of experience that we can gain from different. That is why this association is there to collect this knowledge and ensure that this knowledge can be shared. And of course, develop young nuclear professionals to ensure that there's a sustainability of the industry going forward.
All right, so I know that you've got a gathering that's happening quite soon. What will be the issues on the table for the industry at the moment?
Yes. Tomorrow, we are starting our conference that is running from tomorrow until Friday under the theme Sustaining Nuclear Technology Through Radiation Protection. And it's all about all of the South African and also the SADC region nuclear professionals getting together and with different topics within the nuclear safety environment and sharing knowledge. Also research papers from students, and one of the exciting ones tomorrow, we are having the Young Scientist Award that will be awarded to the best presenter, and the Young Scientist Award will be awarded to someone under the age of 35, and we've got 7 contestants from different universities. Stellenbosch University Physics Department under the guidance of Professor Richard Newman is represented. CAST program at the Northwest Mafikeng campus under the leadership of Professor Chivasi is also represented. Wits University is also represented, and also students from NEXA under the guidance of Dr. Mavunda also will be represented. And it's a high quality papers because the winner in that category is going to represent SARPA in next year's International Radiation Protection Association in South Korea. Wow. And that will be decided by tomorrow.
Okay, so perhaps in conclusion, somebody interested in following a career, how do they do it? Do they go to university for it? Do they go to a technical college? What happens? How do I suddenly get into this career?
Well, radiation protection has a different career path.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, if you have noticed that next I've started what we call the Nuclear Technology School of Specialization. What will happen is that those learners, as they matriculate, they'll have a certificate, they can become radiation protection officer.
Right.
So that is the curriculum that has been developed. So we've got also those that can follow it through the colleges or TVET colleges, and then we've got those who can do it via universities, where you will now have what you call radiation protection specialist. So they've got different categories to cater for them. So because you don't want it, you know, in South Africa there's a very wrong narrative that everyone must go to university.
Yes.
But only to find that
there are different stages.
So that is why we encourage them to say there is a college route, there is a university route, and we must make sure that all these routes are properly.
Gentlemen,
yes,
we're going to have to leave it there, but thanks very much indeed for opening up this world. I think it's an interesting and fascinating one. So you at home, if you are thinking about a career, there's radio protection Association. That's a starting point. They'll point you in the right direction. Very important work. Thanks so much indeed for watching. And this is where we're saying goodbye, isn't it, Palesa?
Yes, indeed, of course. This is the end of the Tuesday edition of SA Today. Thank you so much for having chosen us. Go have a good rest. I'll see you back on Friday.
Indeed.
I know you're avenging, but it's okay. It's okay. Well, I'll be back with you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Democracy Gauge up next with Bongani being with a full view at the top of the hour.